What is the worst physical pain you have ever experienced? I am one of a small percentage of people who, when quickly detoxing from heroin, actually came close to dying. Alcohol and benzodiazepines are typically the two substances that kill people when they try to quit suddenly. Heroin, it just feels like you're going to die, but 99% of the time you don't. In 2011, after many attempts, I finally gave up on the stuff and hid myself away in my apartment. About 12 to 18 hours in, I got all the usual symptoms. Within about a day, I had a headache so bad I could barely walk. About 36 hours in, the headache had turned into what I can only describe as someone taking a wide-gauge knitting needle and shoving it through the back of my skull and swishing it around my brain. I got hot, white spots in my vision that would expand and contract with the pain levels, and as they expanded I went blind. I lost a bunch of motor function, and the only thing I could do is scream bloody murder, and I actually peed myself as I crawled to the front door of my apartment. My neighbors, thinking I was being assaulted or worse, called the police, and they arrived pretty quickly, and I told them everything, was rushed to a local hospital and went through a bunch of tests. They discovered that my brain was bleeding from acute opioid withdrawal. The silver lining to that is it allowed me to be qualified for medical detox, which is something typically only reserved for alcohol and benzos in my area. So yeah, definitely the worst pain ever. If I had a gun in my hand at the moment, I would have been fully prepared to end it all given the level of pain. 12 years later, and many struggles, I am about 10 years free from opiates and almost 3 from everything else. Sobriety is a gift. Thanks for reading my novel. An infection resulting from a tumor in the marrow of my jawbone split it open along its length like an overripe fruit. It was approximately how it sounds. Healing from 1, 2, 3 RD-degree burns. Agree. Had second-degree burn on my leg with sun poisoning and would rather go through natural childbirth than ever go through that again. Tooth abscess in the early days of the pandemic. I wasn't able to see a dentist for 5 days. 5 days of the worst and most unrelenting pain I've ever experienced. I couldn't sleep or eat the entire time. I was losing my mind by the end of it. The day before I started first grade, I accidentally sliced a deep cut through my hand that nearly severed my pinky entirely. I actually didn't even register it right away because the knife cut through the nerve on that side of the hand. The worst pain wasn't the cut itself, but sticking my hand in the disinfecting solution in the ER was a feeling similar to my entire hand being set on fire. Being on fire. I screamed like a wounded animal. You could probably hear me from miles away. I almost fought a nurse when she wasn't going to give me more morphine. Edit, since everyone is tagging on to here. Mine honestly wasn't that bad, just flash fire from gasoline. I was 20. I had second-degree burns on my face, but I don't have any scarring. Some of these stories under me are pretty horrific, and having been there, I'm so sorry to every one of them. I don't think I would have been in more pain if I had been more burned, even. I just would have had the same pain in more areas, if that makes sense. Glass shards piecing through my stomach, good times. Care to expand before someone's head blows up, lol. I was 8. Had new shoes, you see. Had to show off how fast they run. I was running, and upon a turn, I fell into a glass panel. Glass did 3d8 piercing damage. Bone biopsy. Awake. Holy shit, why? I was consciously sedated and mine still hurt. It was a peculiar situation. Sedation, made locally to the access for the thing, sorry, I don't know how it is called in English, to go and grab various pieces of bone, didn't work due to a chronic pain that was killing me since the onset of metastasis. So, I was awake, feeling everything, while my chest muscles kept contracting and release in spasm, trying my best not to move, risking the thing damages my vertebrae. They took pieces from my backbone, femur, iliac crest bone. I just pushed my face against the pillow, murmuring my husband's name as a prayer. Not one of my best days.